Hello lovely people, how are you all doing today? I hope you're good. Oh, that lovely fox, so sweet. I was going to say merrily oblivious to everything, but I'm sure he wasn't. I'm sure those ears were still properly pricked listening, but yeah, what a nice spot for a midday nap. Someone's shed. There's been a bit of sunshine, and I'm sure that's helped to warm up the roofing felt on the shed to make it a nice cosy spot for a nap. Ignore my phone. So it's another day. I'm not carrying on from the day when I was down here doing the tour the other day. I was a bit sort of like, it surprised me actually that I got here, did the tour, and suddenly felt really whacked. So just being really mindful still, baby steps, slow and steady can win the day, no need to rush. Although there's going to come a point when I probably am going to feel, I need to rush. But not today. Right, so before I go outside, a couple of things. These came for me for Christmas. These gloves, these are from MJ. Thank you, gorgeous. Now, they're sort of thick, fleecy, and then they've got this sort of slightly, I don't know if you can tell, so you see this is sort of a fabric here, and then it's a bit sort of rubbery there, sort of rubbery. Cold weather comfort and protection, flexible, down to 50 degrees C, machine washable, double insulated. There's a picture of a hammer on there. I don't want to bash my hand with a hammer. I think these are going to be great for use in winter because I think this is going to give them that slight bit of damp protection as well. So it's all over the palm and the fingers, and then, or the palm side of the fingers, and then just on the top side of the fingers. And what I'd been thinking I would use these for is for when I'm doing something like gathering leaves. Just because, that's a job that, do it in cold weather, it's in the winter, grabbing handfuls. But these are quite chunky, and I was thinking, there'll be a little bit of protection as well from, I don't think there'd be protection from thorns, like if I was sort of doing brambles, but any sort of twiggy bits. But without having that kind of slightly rubbery coating, they should stay dry if the leaves are really damp. Anyway, I brought them down here. They were for Christmas. I brought them down a couple of days after Christmas with the intention of gathering leaves, and it didn't happen. But I will try them out at some point and report back to you how. So I'm just trying to work out why there's this hammer symbol. Yeah, I'll report back about how good they are. I think MJ said he uses these, but yeah, they look great. Ooh, thank you. Because normally, I'll just grab a pair actually. They're just behind you. Normally these are the type I wear. There's all sorts of different makes. These both happen to be a make called, they've been washed so many times, it's hard to see. But they're a make called Atlas. Yeah, I'm a size 8, large, very long fingers. You'll have seen me using these loads. They've got this slightly rubberized sort of palm, and then the top is fabric, so it feels like you feel like your hands can breathe a bit when they're in the gloves, but you've got good grip. Oh my goodness, I need to need to replace these soon. These go in the wash over and over and over again. They do last quite well. I'm just looking on the fingertips of my pink ones. Oh, yeah. You can see where I use my finger to poke into the soil. They do last quite well. These have probably lasted 3 years. I think 3 seasons. And considering I use them almost every time I'm in the garden, I could probably garden without. Apart from like heavy jobs, that, you know, brambles, or if there's a possibility of stones and glass and that sort of thing. But generally I could probably garden without gloves. It's just a bit of a habit from when I was doing it when still back in my nursing days and trying to keep my hands not get too filthy. You know, having a shift the next day I needed to get clean. But yeah, habit, isn't it? Do you wear gloves? Do you not bother? Obviously something like seed sowing, when I'm doing seeds, these are quite dexterous. I do have quite good dexterity in them, but for something like seeds, they're off. Don't use them at all. That's gloves. Now this is my reminder to self. These are the only things that did get cleaned last year. There's stacks and stacks outside the shed that didn't get cleaned. These are coming home with me. It's that time to start thinking about doing a little bit of sowing. There won't be much sowing going on until towards the end of March, but there is one thing I can start indoors in February. So I've got my little pots, these, the plastic bits, you can see these are my propagator lids, so I need to remember to bring, the trays are outside, the trays need to come home too. I'll talk about the propagators. I don't use heated propagators. These are non-heated ones. I will talk about all of that, all of this kit and caboodle in a week or so when I do that first bit of sewing at home. Yay! Now, the other thing, I've had some post. My white onion sets have arrived. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got my little basket here, get them out of this mesh bag. I really, really wish letters need to be written. We need to be moving away from these mesh bags. Surely there must be another way of delivering. I mean, I've cut it carefully, so in theory I could use that to support, you know, a hanging fruit of some description, such as a squash. But yeah, we really need to move away from this plastic mesh now, don't we? So, I've got the onions are all tipped out into here. I can see there's a couple, I mean, desperate to get going. All I will do now is go through them all. I'll be eyeballing them, but also I'm going to give them a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a squeezing. Voice is about. Yeah, go through, give them all a bit of a squeeze, a bit of an eyeball, and then any which, I don't know, you see it's a bit mush. Any that are mush, I'll put that in the bottom corner. Get them separated. You might, on some of them, even without squeezing them and feeling they've gone a bit mush, you might see little flecks of sort of almost white powdery looking flecks. That's a mould. Get it out, get it out, get it out. Once I've gone through them all, I'll just leave them on this basket spread out, so they're not all crammed together. They're not going to sweat and, you know, get mouldy, get fungus on them. These won't be going out into the garden for another, gosh, where are we? Mid-February now. They won't be going out till mid-April, 2 months or so. So just leave them spread out, air circulation. I can eyeball them. Obviously, I'll go through them now and take out any hinky ones. But then as the weeks go on, every time I come in the shed, just cast my eyes over them. And if it looks like any more have gone off, quick whip them out. You know, it's what I'm always saying about whether we're storing produce. I'm pointing up there, but there's nothing on the drying rack now. The drying rack is empty and closed. But when I'm storing my produce, whether it's, you know, onions or what have you, or onions at this stage in the year, I'm always thinking of that phrase about one rotten apple spoils the whole barrel. So yeah, do if you're just getting your onion sets now and it's too early to plant them out, get them spread out, pick out any that are looking rotten. And on that subject, because I've still got onions over there, and a few behind me, do keep checking your stored produce. I when did I do it? A couple of days ago, I went through my stored produce at home that's not in the freezer. In other words, my squash. The butternuts are all storing perfectly well. The black futsu have generally, until now, have stored really well, but one of them, just giving them cats, one of them had just turned to mush overnight. I'd taken my eye off the ball. I think in fairness, I haven't been looking at my kitchen stored produce. I hadn't probably been looking at it for the last 3 or 4 weeks. But anyway, that one has now been removed. It's gone. But yeah, do keep an eye on your produce if you've got any left. We're getting down to the dregs, aren't we? But yeah, keep an eye on your produce at this time of year. Okay, so I think first job, sun's coming out. I really don't have an ounce of energy, but I'm going to see if I can start in on a job in the very top bed near my number sign. Come on. This will be a good test. Parsnips out. Transplant. Weed. I need a weed bucket. Oh, I'll put a pile there instead. I need to bring you in closer, don't I, so you can see, and also not have you backlit or me backlit. Come closer. I'll tell you what, there's some nice soup in this lot. Also, the ground, oh, that's a deep one. The ground feels surprisingly dry. I thought, oh, I snapped it, I heard. That's all right there. Oh dear. I think these are some of the thinnings that I transplanted. They really didn't get going at all. Never mind, scrub them. That's one mouthful, isn't it? The thing is, if I make a load of soup with them, it doesn't matter what size they are, because they're all going to get chopped up and whacked into the soup anyway. But yeah, it's those versus those. Oh my goodness. This bed will be, I think I mentioned the other day, didn't I, onions. So what I will do, I don't have any down here at the moment. I ordered some and it's arrived at the flat and it's in a massive sort of keg. I've got some chicken manure. Bought some Christmas money, yay! But it's too big for me to carry down here. So what I'll do is at home, I'm going to have to decant it into bin bags or something like that to get it down here. Anyway, digressing. What I'm trying to get at is in order to prep this for the onions. It won't need much. I will give it a bit of just a light sprinkling of the chicken manure pellets. Just rake them in a bit. I'm probably going to cover this bed because where I'm digging out these parsnips now and loosening the soil, because it's 2 months away from planting, you know, we could have a really fiercely wet spring, and that would really sort of compact this bed again. So yeah, sprinkle of chicken poo, get it covered, and then I can think of it as, yay, the first bed ready to go in this new growing year. Oh, I've left her. Oh, that one was going to be a big one. Yummy, yummy soup on the menu. I mean, obviously there's more one can do with parsnips, but just in terms of my energy being a bit low, but also I don't really want to have the oven on too much with our crazy fuel prices at the moment. So a quick load of soup made on the top of the stove, less energy in terms of gas, electricity to use up, and also less of my energy to use up. Good stuff. Okay, well that's about, I've probably got about that much more harvest to go again. I'll show you when it's done though, but for now, why don't one of you go and put the kettle on? I'm down for a cup of peppermint tea. Okay, so the last of the parsnips are out. Hoopla! Yeah, happy with that little lot. Really happy with that lot. The thinnings that I transplanted, I think the ones that I dug up, the ones that I showed you before Christmas, I've had a couple of diggings before Christmas, but the ones I showed you, I don't think they were the thinnings, the transplants. I really don't think they can have been, because the rest of them that I've taken out, they've all been really little and sort of going around or forked a bit. Yeah, it didn't work. Never mind. You know, I had to thin anyway, and I'm glad I did thin, because the ones that I left in situ have grown, and that's an absolute perfect size for me. Brilliant. So, parsnip bed is empty now, and it's brought me right up to the edge of the lily bulb. Yeah, I think I'm going to lift it and move it. I've been in a dilemma about this. I was thinking about it yesterday evening when I got home. I'm going to do it because moving it last year, it did seem to stunt its growth last summer, and it barely got to, about 4 feet high instead of its usual 6 to 8 feet. So I think moving it now, there's a chance I'm going to stunt it again, but let's just get it done. Get it moved once and for all, right away from that path, right away from the chance of it having to be chopped down completely because it's in the path. Let's just do it now, let it get settled back in, and then in 2 or 3 years' time, hopefully it'll be big and gorgeous again. So just to give myself a bit of space to do that, this is, this is the Cosmos. Well and truly over. So I'll have it all out, chop it, it's really, really dry and woody, chop it down quite fine, and then where I've got any brassica leaves that I want to pull off, chop those up, mix them all together, so because this on its own, it's not going to compost, it's not going to do anything. Also, likewise, get this verbena cut right down. It is ready to, it's raring to get going again. Let's get it right down though, just so I've got some space to see and work by. Yay! And essentially, I can't shake the soil off because it's just snapping. trying to keep my soil. Just as I was sort of saying the other day in the tour, my approach at the moment, look, let's face it, I'm not, there's not a huge amount of energy, but you may be feeling the same, so we can, manage this together, is to think of this bed number one, let me go through this bed and get this bed sorted. Weeding, clearing, covering, whatever it is that needs doing, I will work through this bed and get it done. That way my mind, that's an easier thing for my head to cope with. Does that make sense? I'm not thinking about the whole garden every day when I'm not here. I'm not sort of thinking about the whole thing and all the jobs that need doing, and oh my goodness, that's so daunting. In my head, I can just literally hold one thought. Bed one. That's the only thought I need to have in my head. Great. No long lists, no all sorts of other stuff. Work through it, get it done, and then in a week or maybe 2 weeks I can think bed two and give it exactly the same treatment. Yeah, I have to apply. I have to get up and go over there. Just that little amount of logic to it. Right, let me go up and around, get this verbena out of the way, and then let's get the fork in and see if we can find this beautiful lily bulb without spearing it. Perfect convalescence job. Do a bit and sit a bit. Let's see if I can get this lily out in a minute. Okay, we've got big shadow there from next door, but let's see if I can find it and also show it to you. So, oh, how's that got? So that's where my stalks are. Let's just go down, 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 down. Okay, let's ease this off a bit. All the poached eggplant's gone rampant. Let's have some of it out. I don't want it to completely take this bed over. Oh, getting warm. Scarf off. Is that back bit of it? I think that is. No. Bit of old china. The old china. shan't gone a bit wrong. It's rotten stalk. That's just stalk. Vivi. Going much deeper. Oh, am I regretting this now? Oh, possibly a bit. This is why I say it's just get this blooming done now. Once and for all done. Where are you? Come on. Just, oh my goody goodness. I don't know whether this is the right job for me to do today. Crikey. Oh. Right, stop a second. Blimey. Well, got it eventually. Look at the size of this. Oh. Oh my goody goodness. It's like it's like 4 bulbs now. My goodness. Right, I'm going to need my spade to get a hole dug over there, proper hole for it and get it back in. And then there's a few little, I guess it's been sort of propagating itself. A few little ones have come off and up at the same time, so I'll pop those in too. My goodness, that was an effort though. I think before I do anything, I definitely need, I know I've done a bit, I need to sit a bit. Phew. Good. Well, after a lot of huffing and puffing, that's the bulb back in, or should I say bulbs. And what I did was I slightly separated them because some of them were they were almost on their sides pointing, and I could see that it was sort of wanting to send the shoot this way and then up and out, which is why they were getting so close to the bed, the path edge. But they've basically gone from here to here. Well, you can see I've put all the little sticks there for now. That's just to remind me as I go into the spring, just before they actually start appearing on the surface. It's just a reminder for me to avoid this area when I'm sort of doing my onions or doing any sort of work, bed prep in this area. Also, hopefully, just to keep the cats and foxes off a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I am glad I've done that. It's been on my mind this winter. It was on my mind last winter. I didn't get a proper job of it done last year, so I'm hoping now that is now sort of done and I can leave it alone for a goodly few years. And like I said, I'm glad to get the parsnips out. I need to get some of the chicken muck down here, get it on. I was going to take out all the old calendula today and then get this bed covered, but I am being sensible. I'm feeling a little bit tired after all that lot, so I think for my first session back, I'm going to call it a day. You know, oh, the wind's picking up as well. It's getting quite chilly. I'm really pleased with what I've got done today. If I keep doing sort of little sessions like this, do a bit, sit a bit, do a bit, sit a bit, you know, in another week to 2 weeks or so, this whole bed will be looking so much better, and then I can move on to the next lot. But for now I'm going to say cheerio to you all. Look after yourselves. Enjoy whatever bit of garden time you can. Oh, and I think, yeah, let's get some of this. Oh, that wind is pesky. Yeah, it's definitely time to go. And I'm going to take some of this lovely Portuguese cabbage with me. for supper tonight. See you all again soon. Bye for now.